Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Angular Team. I'm Joe Eames, your host, and today with us we have Kristiyan Kostadinov. Kristiyan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Good, 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 good. All right, well, we're excited to get to know you a little bit. Hopefully, everybody that's watching is really interested to find out a little bit more about Kristiyan. So let's start with a little bit of background. Can you maybe tell us real briefly how you got into programming?
Yep. So I've always been into computers as a kid, and then in high school we had a web development course. So that's kind of how I got into it because I really liked how you write a little bit of HTML and it just immediately it pops up on the screen. Of course, it was very outdated HTML. So like our exams were asking us to do things in Dreamweaver and like use tables for layout and stuff like that. But it was
Right.
enough to get me started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. So, what about programming languages? Do you know a lot of programming languages or?
So not too much. Like I've been focusing very much on the website. So like
Mhm.
your standard like JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, CSS. I have done a bit of Python, some PHP, some Java, also a little bit of C Sharp. Like Denmark's a big C Sharp country, so
Uh-huh.
you gotta know that a little, at least a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay. So, if there was one language that you don't know yet that you could learn, what would it be?
Rust seems pretty interesting, and it seems very like trendy these days. So I would
Hmm.
give that a shot, or maybe Go. Although the syntax always throws me off a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Angular. What's your favorite part of Angular?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a feature of Angular, but the community, I always love all the things the community does around Angular.
Hmm.
So that's definitely number one. In terms of the framework itself, I really like the templating language. Like I'm not a huge fan of things like JSX and stuff like that, but I really like that you just write HTML with a little bit of extra stuff on top, and then you kind of get all this magic.
Gotcha.
I also like the consistency, like how you can just jump from one Angular project to another, and you kind of know how things are structured and how things work.
Gotcha. Cool. 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 All right. So let's talk about your role on the Angular team itself. What's your role on the Angular team?
Mhm. Yep. So I've been on the Angular team for I don't know more than 6 years now.
Mhm.
Initially, I started on the components team working on Angular material. Then I slowly started transitioning into the framework team. So now I'm kind of splitting my time between components and the framework, depending on what we're working on that particular time.
Cool. 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 What's your favorite part about being on the Angular team?
Well, I mean, the first one is just my teammates. I love working with everybody on the team. Everybody's super competent. I always learn new things from everybody. So
Hmm.
that's really fun. I also like working at the scale of Angular. So just the amount of developers that are using it and the amount of users those developers reach is crazy. And of course, that raises a lot of interesting problems that you need to solve and that you need to account for.
Right. Right. Huh. Cool. All right. So let's take a little bit of a serious turn here,
Mhm.
and let's talk about imposter syndrome. How do you deal with imposter syndrome?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I don't really deal with it. I kind of try to lean into it and sort of I use it to help me perform better because like if everybody thinks I'm an imposter, then I need to prove myself even more so that I kind of
Hmm.
use it to push myself.
Huh. Interesting. All right. Cool. 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 I know that you've been to ng-conf before. Do you have a favorite ng-conf memory?
I mean, like there's always great hallway conversations at ng-conf. So just like grabbing lunch with somebody and kind of like just sitting at a random table is always great. Um, I also really vividly remember the outside mall party that we had. I think there was like an 80s theme in like
Hmm.
2018 or 2017, and that one was really fun. We also had a really nice mountain biking ride after one ng-conf in Moab. That was
Right.
also really fun.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Last question here. If you weren't a programmer, what would you be?
Yeah. So, I mean, as a kid, I wanted to be an archaeologist because I really liked Indiana Jones. I later found out that it's not very glorious. Uh, I know I'd probably end up in something like tech support. Like,
Yeah.
I always used to like fiddle with my computer and like mess up my Windows installation and having to reinstall everything. So I feel like I end up in somehow like that.
Something like that. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's so we're gonna move into our final phase, which is our uh rapid fire hot take questions. I'm gonna give you two options, A or B. You pick one or the other. You can pick either or both, or neither or both if you want, but we're just gonna go through these really quickly. You ready?
Yep.
All right. First one, straightforward. Kirk or Picard?
Picard.
Okay. Ruby or Scala?
Ruby.
BB-8 or Grogu?
Oh, Grogu. Grogu.
Okay. This is one of my favorites. Game of Thrones or Squid Game?
Yeah, Squid Game. Like I don't like what they did with Game of Thrones.
That's a common answer. Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Okay. Twilight or Batman?
Oh, Batman.
Okay. Veet or Webpack?
Webpack.
All right. Last one. Billie Eilish or Billy Joel?
Billy Joel.
Awesome. Well, great. Thanks so much, Kristiyan, for taking your time to come and chat with us. And thanks everybody for watching. Hope you had some fun getting to know Kristiyan. And we look forward to seeing you at ng-conf in person.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.